We have Justin Sande from Bowl.com all mic'd up, and Justin is going to talk about the power of retail media.
Yeah, thank you very much. This morning, I have a daughter of 10, and she had her traffic exam in primary school in the Netherlands. You need to bike, right, in the Netherlands, and she had her exam, practical exam. And I was one of those parents who had to look at all the children and say, okay, you're doing the right things. And yesterday she had her theoretical exam. And well, she did this quite well, I have to say. She knew everything. But when it turned out this morning, well, I'm not so sure if she made the practical exam. So there's a big gap between, okay, I know I have to look right and left and point my finger and those kind of things, and actually doing it in real life. So and that's well, what has that to do with retail media? I think there's an allegory, or there's a big resemblance with retail media, talking about retail media theoretically, and that's and what's actually happening. And we saw it already in various presentations. So I'm also going to talk 5 minutes or so, a little bit more probably, about the actions. What should retail media providers actually do in order to make retail media an interesting media partner, in order to become an interesting media partner? So we should talk about actions, then words. And I've got three topics I would like to focus on. 3 things we all hear the past few years when discussing retail media, 3 beliefs basically. And I want to emphasize, I want to focus on those 3 beliefs and see what, to my opinion, retail media providers should invest in. So the first one is the belief of retail media being the 3rd wave of advertising, after, of course, search and social. And the second one, I will focus on the belief that retail media is actually impacting traditional media investments. And the third one, the belief that retail media will actually bridge sales and marketing. I think some of the discussion we had a few minutes ago. And to be honest, if I look at the first point, so focusing on the 3rd wave, being the 3rd wave of media or advertising, I think if you think of the wave actually hits ground, I think then retail media providers actually should give agencies and advertisers the access to the consumer data, to the relevant data to work with. And it's not only, give access to a certain extent to that data, but also make it as accessible as possible, because that's basically the unique selling point of retail media providers, right? That you can have that unique shopper data and connect that to your campaigns. And if I look at Bowl.com, and I will show you some things we're developing right now on that part. We're now actually heavily investing in data analytics capacity, and I think that's the first step. The first baby step we need to do in order to be able to give you as an advertiser or an agency the opportunity to work with our data. So, for example, it's about insights of your brand versus competition. It's the customer funnel, the consumer funnel, for example. But it's also about your share of voice, for example, or how do people look at your brand on our platform, and what can we learn from that, and translate this into strategy, media strategy. And you can also think of things like, okay, but when I did campaigns, did I actually reach new customers or existing customers of your brand? And all those kind of things we're now investing in to, first of all, show it and give it back to advertiser and agency to work with. But on the other hand, and that's the second part we're now busy in developing, is, okay, make it easy, accessible, because it's not in a sort of an easy, accessible system right now. And we do know that we need to step up there. But this is something we're actually, from a retailer perspective, are doing. And I'm convinced that this is also helping other retailers if you invest in, well, giving more insights about your consumers. So the second belief is about retail media competing with other media channels, or and I think from that point of view, I think retail media providers should actually invest in creative formats in which the brands, well, can literally and figuratively, that's a hard word, tell their story within the retail media environment. And it's not only giving them the opportunity to tell their brand story, but it's also about reporting on it. And it's not only reporting about the basic media metrics, but I think it's also about the brand impact, for example. So really the other metrics which are necessary to prove that that retail media environment can help building your brand. So here's an example what we're doing right now. It's testing, it's beta testing within Bol. It's about video, for example. It's about, yeah, it's a funny video, I have to say. But it's also about integrating and integrating the brand story within a Bol environment. And of course, we still figure out, okay, what to report on, what information and insights do we have of these, for example, brand activation pages you see here, or shop in shops, as you would like to know it. Of course, we have all the media metrics. We have the sort of also the sales metrics behind it. But we're now discovering, together with research companies and media agencies, also to see, okay, what's the brand impact of these kind of formats? And in that case, trying to prove that we're also able to move a little bit more upper funnel. Talking about agencies, I think that's a very important one. If I talk about the last one, the last belief, providing the last belief of bridging sales and marketing. I think providing the right insights is basic from a retail media provider perspective. We should provide the insights, actionable insights to work with. And I think this is a very important one. I think agencies should be enabled, should take their position in this ecosystem to help advertisers and play the conductor's role, basically, to help bring sales and marketing together. So this is basically the thing I see as a big opportunity for agencies. So being the conductor of all media stakeholders here. An example here, what we're doing right now, it looks like, so for example, L'Oreal, big brand, we launched a beauty studio with them. We did this together with the agency OMG Transact. And together with Bol, with the agency, with L'Oreal, we both took out the trade-related KPIs and also the media or marketing-related KPIs, and tried to figure out and work out on a specific case where we can, well, basically combine both and make the best out of those. So the agency played a big role here because they also connected offsite media or TV media to this and redirected it to Bol. So this is an example where three parties really can work together, and we're able to show all the relevant data necessary to, well, evaluate this campaign. And for L'Oreal, it made sense because they had all the different touch points that were brought together, and they really could make sense out of the effect of their campaign. So to summarize, and I think it stopped running my presentation, but to summarize, it's basically the three things. I was talking about the three key beliefs. I think, yeah, retail media could be the third wave in advertising, but only if retailers are able or willing to share the relevant consumer data. Secondly, I was talking about the belief that retail media can, well, have impact on traditional media investments. It can, but we need to step up from a creative perspective and also prove with, well, let's say brand research, for example, that we actually can move the needle there. And thirdly, and that's the last one about bridging, retail media bridging sales and marketing. I think, yes, it is possible because it is a sweet spot of sales and marketing KPIs, but agencies are really the ones who can bring that together and also make sense out of it, all the media touch points. So luckily I had the opportunity to tell this just before my own panel discussion, so you all know what my ideas are around retail media. Thank you.